Yo, what's poppin' here with Cobra Star Green? Back with you guys in the video. Your first time finding our channel or anything, you guys definitely hit the subscribe button. Also, the video. Yes, today we will be reviewing the new Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Now, if you have played the games, this is very, very similar to some of the games that they have put out. But I will say, with saying that, I will say that if you are not very familiar with these games, you could be a little bit confused in the movie. I guess we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to talk about some stuff. Because when it comes to these video game movies, you know, they can be very hit or miss. I remember the last one I seen was this one.
I'm Sonic, a little ball of super energy in an extremely handsome package.
So, you know, I'm very hit or miss when it comes to video game movies. Now, I know there's a new movie coming out soon called Uncharted. We'll see how that one does. I don't believe it'll be that good, but you know, let's talk about this new Resident Evil film. Now, I know a lot of people, especially that are big into the games, already know all the characters. You know Chris. You know freaking the main dude, Leon. You know what I'm saying? You know Claire. You know all the characters pretty much. But did they get these characters right in the movie? Let's go ahead and talk about it. First off, I gotta talk about it, man. First off, I gotta talk about how they did Leon in the film. Now, I'm not gonna lie. It's going to take a little bit to get used to Leon. Because the actor they got here, I understand he got nice hair, but he ain't got hair like Leon, though. Leon hair different. Now, when we first get introduced to him, to Leon in the movie, he's pretty much a rookie cop, and he's pretty much like a he's not pretty much like a sideline character, but he kind of is like in the back throughout pretty much the entire film. It's a little bit towards the end. He comes out as more of a forefront. But pretty much throughout the entire film, he's pretty much just tagging along. He's like, well, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm a rookie cop. So I'm going to tag along with you guys. And me playing some of the Resident Evil games, I don't know if they got Leon's character fully right. I know that they are trying to make this an entire series. So probably they'll go more in depth and have Leon more take of a major role in future films. But for this film, I will say the character I didn't like the most was Leon, I would say. I don't know what your thoughts on Leon was.
I could be wrong, because I haven't played Resident Evil 1 and 2, and I don't know the story all too well. I've played 4. That's my favorite. And Leon's great in 4. He's a great character. So maybe when watching this, because it pulls inspiration from 1 and 2, maybe there's something I'm missing in terms of like when I'm watching Leon, it doesn't really quite feel like Leon yet. But yeah, I felt attached a little bit. It felt weird. It felt like
it was like
goofing on him a little bit.
It was pretty much like Leon in this movie is pretty much the comic relief in this film. That's pretty much who Leon's character is. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, none of his jokes ever hit though. There was no jokes in the film.
Well, it's not even so much that he was the jokester; it was that everyone was shitting on him.
Yeah. But I personally, especially like me watching the games and playing the games, I'm like, man, this not Leon. You know what I'm saying? But I will give them the benefit of the doubt. I see him being a bigger role in future films because I know they're gonna try to do more future films off of it, especially towards the ending. We'll talk about that just in a little bit. But you know, I want to talk about, I'll say my favorite character in the movie. You know, I didn't know how they were gonna do him. I know he's pretty much a big actor already. Well, not fully a big actor, but he's doing all right in his own regards. And I'm talking about, what's his name? Robbie Amell, I think I say his name, aka Chris Redfield in the film. He's my favorite character by far. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's very charismatic. Now, I feel like some of his lines were a little bad, you know, here and there. But just to see him take over, you know, him protecting his sister throughout the film. We'll talk about his sister in just a second. But, you know, I liked his character. Like I said, I think he's my favorite character in the film. Go ahead. I don't know what your thoughts on.
One of the things he said is, what is a chat room?
Yeah, I know. This is goofy. That's the lines I didn't like.
Kind of bugged me, yeah. I don't know. It was fine. He was okay. I don't think anyone was really that particularly interesting for me. Which is weird because This is taken from the first and the second, which I don't know too much about, but you'd think I'd be a little bit more invested in characters that I know at least from 5, 6, 4, all of them. So.
Yeah, but I would say, like, at least for the characters that I was most interested in, I was definitely most interested in Chris Redfield. Pretty by far.
I think mine would be Wesker.
Wesker. We'll talk about Wesker in just a second.
Okay.
But yeah, I think my favorite character in the movie, Chris Redfield. I think he did a great job. We already know where this is gonna go for him. You already know. But let's talk about another character, and let's go ahead and character you were talking about just a second.
So yeah, I think Albert Wesker. Not that he was that great in this film. I think he was the most interesting. I guess there was something a little bit mysterious about what was going on, and he's one of my favorite characters in the video game. So naturally, following the video game story, I'm a little bit more attached to that character. I think I don't know the actor's name, but I think he did a good, solid performance with.
His name is Tom Hopper. Tom Hopper.
Yeah, he did a good job. Yeah, it was okay. I think we'll get into it a little bit more, but I think there was just like a detachment. When I was watching the film, it felt more like I'd rather play the game right now than watch the film.
But
which is not saying like I felt like they tried, but like it didn't quite hit.
Yeah, but when it comes to your boy here, hold on, I'm just trying to pull up my thing real quick. I lost it. But when it comes to Albert Wesker here, it's crazy because if you play the games, like his character kind of takes a turn for the worst. So just to see what happened in that post-credit scene, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but just to see what they did with the post-credit scene, it's kind of like, okay, I wonder if they're going that same exact route here. I wonder.
He is the Sephiroth of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Do you know who Sephiroth is?
No, I had no idea.
So Final Fantasy, Cloud's big rival. Yeah, he is basically one of the most powerful characters in Resident Evil. And Sephiroth is extremely powerful. So, like, that's the closest thing that I can think of in terms of just pure coolness, swagger, and just power. And, yeah.
So, but like I said, well, if we get into spoilers, like, look, quick spoiler real quick, like, he pretty much dies in the film. But
yeah.
Does he really though? You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, we see that he'll be all right. He'll be all right. But we'll talk about him just a little bit. Now, another character I want to talk about was Jill Valentine. I don't know too much about her character too much. Maybe you probably know more than I do.
I don't know too much more than you probably because
yeah, she's in the back left
as
right
much here. As I had played the games, it's been a while since I fully invested myself in a story. So even as I'm playing for Resident Evil 4 right now, I'm not at the Jill Valentine parts because I know she's in that game, but it's been a bit. But I do have basic outlets of her character.
When it comes to Jill, like in the film, she's pretty much a badass. Like from the get go, she's like
it's kind of how she is.
She's just like, look, man, whatever I gotta do, I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? She's the I wouldn't say she's the badass of the group because everybody's pretty much badasses, but we'll say she holds her own. You know what I'm saying?
Shines through a little bit more. Yes.
So I think they depicted her pretty well in the film. I think she did a great job in the film. Now, the last character I'm going to talk about. Actually, we'll talk about two more characters. Just really quickly. We'll go through these one by one. But I want to talk about someone really quick. And that is, well, you guys know who Chris Redfield is. Well, let's talk about his goddamn sister real quick. Charlie. I her name right? Charlie, yeah. Clary. I said Charlie. Clary, my bad. Clary. I don't know where the hell I got Charlie from. But let's talk about her. In this film, she's pretty much a badass too. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of times where she just takes control. Characters are about to die, but she ends up saving their freaking lives. So I think they really depicted that well from the video games also. I'm really excited what they do with her character in the future. And I don't really have any complaints when it comes to her character. I don't know about you.
No, I can't think of anything that's too out there. I think like some of the dialogue was a little dry.
But I think dialogue throughout the entire film was just dry.
True.
Though. I think that's everybody.
A part on everyone's.
Yeah,
part,
that was everybody.
But if I'm nitpicking her a little bit more, it felt a little bit more dry than usual with certain parts.
Okay.
Not that she did horrible or anything, not that she did too much worse. It's just moments where it stuck out a little bit more.
Yeah, I thought she did all right. I thought she did fine. Now I want to talk about a certain character really quick because I did not like. I'm not gonna say I didn't like him, but because like I know like this is just how his character is written. Now, if you play the games, you would have already known from the get-go how a certain character was going to turn out. And I am talking about, if I can find a goddamn picture of him, because I don't want to just talk about him and y'all like, be like, who the heck are you talking about? But there's a certain character in the film. He's the antagonist in the film.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can go ahead and say him real quick.
I think his name is Wallace, isn't it? I don't remember. I'm not gonna be.
No, his name is William Birkin.
William Birkin.
William Birkin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could finally find a picture.
Kind of a flat character, but I think that's how he is in the video game too. So
yeah,
it's not like, oh, the movie did this worse. Yeah, I don't know. I think he did his job for the role.
Yeah, I mean he did fine. It's just the way they wrote his character.
Yeah, you know, you can only ask for so much, I guess.
Yeah, I think he did fine. It's just the way they. Now, what I did like from his character, this is like a spoiler review, but what I did like from his character was the fact that like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, we go through that transformation with him. Not only do we see him as a human, but we see him as a monster towards the end of the film.
Yeah,
so throughout the film, he's evolving into a monster. So now I'll get on that in just a second because I feel like some of the monsters were a little iffy, but I will say the transformation he goes throughout the entire film, I like that part of the film. You know what I'm saying? Because that's very, very well depicted from the video games. You see how in video games characters are a certain way and they aim into this big old monster. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited and glad to say that they did the exact same thing there with him. Now, the way he ended though, look, man, like I've played some of the games. And I don't ever remember, first of all, this looks goddamn terrible when you see it on the freaking screen. I'm not going to lie. Like, it looks all right here because you're not seeing too much of it. But whenever you see it on a freaking projector in a movie theater, this don't look that good, y'all. I was sitting there watching it. I'm like, ew.
It felt like they used the budget.
Yeah. The budget ran out.
Yeah.
The budget ran out on this dude.
There's like, it was inconsistent, I think, the CGI and even practical effects of the movie. Like I thought the ones that were like humans kind of turning into zombies a little bit, but you still see their human. I thought those were really good. Those were working, but 98% of the time. There's a couple moments.
I thought those were fine because they didn't have to do too much with those. They just kind of like people would just be like, "Oh, be a zombie," you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But whenever they fully had people become zombies, those were hit or miss, man. Now the dog was fine, but when you see this big blob on the screen. Ew, yeah,
I feel like the dog at certain moments didn't quite hit. It wasn't quite there. It felt like they were rushing it. But other moments was like, okay, just crystal.
Yeah. Now, whenever I play the Resident Evil games, and I've seen people play it and stuff like that and watch them, I don't ever remember you being able to kill a freaking monster as easily. I know it's a movie, but they kill these monsters kind of easy. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe like one little RPG shot and they up out of there. So
to be fair,
I don't know. I know it's a movie. It's a movie. I get it.
When I was watching it felt like Chris had to like really shoot and Claire sometimes. Like some of these zombies, like just like when you're fighting Resident. Yeah. It felt like there was moments where.
No, I'm talking about particular this one.
Oh, like, with that one? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, whenever they kill this zombie, and they gotta think about it, not zombie, monster.
Yeah.
And when you play the game stuff like that, it takes a while to kill these monsters. This one, literally, Leon shoots an RPG and that's it. And this monster is bye out of there.
Oh yeah, it takes much more than that.
Yeah. Now, one thing I would have wanted from the game more. I mean, the movie more, was them to showcase a particular group. Now they didn't really do it too much. In this movie, but maybe they will in other films. And the thing I'm talking about is shoot, I can't even find a picture. But I'm talking about the Umbrella. What do they call it? Umbrella Academy. Or no, not Academy, but organization, right? The Umbrella people.
Umbrella Corps. I
Yeah.
think Umbrella Corporation.
I don't want to fully get it wrong, but I call them the Umbrella. That's what I call them. Now I would have wished we got to see a little bit more of them, because they're kind of like in the background, but they're like their whole objective is like, yo, we about to get rid of this whole entire place, and you guys, you know what I'm saying? You only got till 6 a.m. to get the heck out of here, you know. So, but I would have liked to see more of them in the film, but you don't really see them at all.
One thing I would like to note is I like the sheriff.
Oh yeah.
Like he had some of the more funnier moments. Not that a lot of the comedy worked, but when the comedy worked, it was usually him. That was actually like, I was like, oh, this guy looks like he's having a blast with this role.
Yeah, especially when he was there's a certain time where he's fighting that dog. And he's like losing his bullets.
Yeah, well, when he's like just talking to the whole group and he's just going on a monologue. He's just going on and on. And
yeah.
on.
But he was kind of being
felt like improv.
He's kind of being like an asshole to like Leon for like no reason.
Yeah, he is. At moments though, Leon. This is a frustrating part. I don't know if this is part of the game's story. So this is why it kind of bugged me. So I don't know if this is... Anyone correct me. I don't think it is, but I could be wrong. Leon's sleeping on the job.
Yeah.
He's got music playing. A whole truck just blows up. Well, not even blows up. It crashes and it's burning. And then, like, there's this zombie walking in on fire. And he was about to die by the hands. And, like, the sheriff saves him. And, like... By that point, I can understand the sheriff kind of giving Leon some shit.
Yeah,
like,
that makes it like, bro, you ain't see this big old zombie walk through the dang freaking door.
You are sleeping on the job. This is why you don't sleep on the job.
Yeah, but I like how I guess I could say that. I like how Leon evolves throughout the entire film.
He does evolve.
He does, but I mean, who would do stuff like that, especially in a time like this? Who the heck sleeping on a job like that, you know? But I guess I did like the action in the film. Now, there is a little bit of horror here because it is a Resident Evil game. Umbrella Corporation. There it is. God damn it. But that's what I wanted to say earlier. But, there is horror here. And what made me fascinated about the horror in this one is like, because personally, I have always wanted to see a particular movie done on the big screen. And this is just me personally. But I personally have always wanted to see my favorite horror game of all time be depicted on a big screen, and that's Outlast. And me watching Resident Evil, I was kind of like, I like her doing some aspects of horror, but they not fully going on into it too deep. I think it's fine for the audience it's intended for. It's Resident Evil, you know what I'm saying?
They can never do Outlast justice. I'm telling you this,
bro. The thing is, this is personally me. I want to see an Outlast movie, and I want it to be based on the first Outlast game.
I want to say that in a perfect world, if we got somebody who's really passionate about Outlast,
shoot, they give me. I direct that damn. I direct
director, a great writer, someone who really captures the essence of what it's like playing the game. That would be one of the best horror movies of all time.
Man, it's all right. Y'all
could really do
Warner, bro, just give me. I know all about Outlast.
Look,
I direct the film.
Somebody, if you're going to do a video game movie right, it better be Outlast. Because I swear, even I couldn't play it. I couldn't play it. It was too terrifying. It was too terrifying. I love
Outlast games.
I couldn't do it, but I love watching people play it. It's a great horror game.
Now let's go ahead and get into the little quickly ending explain just a little bit quickly. But y'all guys, y'all played the games. Y'all know how it goes. Couldn't even say it. I couldn't even get the word out. But what was his name again? William. Forget his name again.
Burkham?
Yeah, William Birkin. Y'all guys know he becomes evil and he turns into a big monster. And the whole entire group is fighting him off at the end. That's pretty much it. Because like it's funny. Because he dies and then he becomes back. He comes back as this monster. And Leon, Chris, what was it, Clary? And I'm missing one person. Oh, Jill. Ended up fighting him and they ended up killing him. And at the same time, the Umbrella Corporation thinks that, everybody died. You know what I'm saying? So the ending scene is pretty much them walking out while the Umbrella Corporation thinks that everybody's gone. So they'll definitely set up a sequel with that in the future. Now, there is a post-credit scene. So on the post-credit scene, if you guys know her character, I'm surprised they even freaking showed her in the movie. But how you say Ada Wong? What's I say her name? Ada Wong shows up, and I forgot to say this earlier in the film. Albert ended up dying, so she is the one to bring Albert back. So what they'll do with that, hopefully they bring Albert back as a villain, and you get to see how he was in the video games. You know what I'm saying? How OP he was. Hopefully we'll see that. But Ada Wong's character is kind of on both sides a little bit, so we'll see when it comes to her. But hey, that's pretty much it. Oh, let's get into our ratings of the film. You know what? Whenever I see video game movies, I get very worried. You know, I've seen a lot of bad ones recently. But I've also seen some good ones. And I will have to put this one on the good one side. I think this is, especially if you are a big fan of the video game, I think this is worth a watch. If I'm being completely honest with you guys. If you like the video games, you're going to probably enjoy this one here. Maybe you might even feel like you're playing a video game still. You know, you're like, oh, that's Leon, that's Red Chris. You know, all these characters here. So, if you get past some of the bad CGI, some of the bad writing, some of the bad dialogue here, I think you'll really, really be able to sit down and enjoy this one. There's a lot of Easter eggs you see in the film that you're like, oh, RPD. You know what I'm saying? All these other places you might see from the video games. You're like, oh, wow, they put that in the movie. That's really cool. So with saying that, I'm going to give the movie a 7.5 out of 10. I think you guys will enjoy it. Now, my biggest worry is for people that have not seen the game or not have played the games or know nothing about the games, but they're going to see Resident Evil. My biggest worry is about them because they might be a little bit confused on certain things. But you can go ahead.
So before I go into ratings, I have one idea that I want to share. I want to see if you're going to make more Resident Evil movies off of the games, please do Resident Evil 4 and do it right. Do Resident Evil 4. Give Leon justice. Make this movie and do it right. Don't do it if you're not going to do it right. I'm telling you right now, don't do it if you're not going to do it right. Because I will be so mad. If you're going to do it right. I swear, Resident Evil 4 is the best Resident Evil game, best story, challenging, fun, terrifying, but also thrilling. Anyway, point blank period. What do I think of this movie? Well, I'd say I think I'd rather play the games. But I've seen worse movies. I've seen worse original horror movies. Like Bye Bye Man. Terrible. I think I had a better time with something like this than that. So I say, objectively, I feel like this is a 5 out of 10. This could have been worse. Could have been way better. Subjectively, my experience with it, 6 out of 10. Okay. Whatever. I had an okay time. Not impressed, but definitely didn't hate myself watching it. I think it was okay. Yeah. So that's my rating.
Yeah, but hey, if you guys have seen the movie, you know, let us know you got thoughts on this down below. Hey, y'all first time finding our channel, hit the subscribe button. Also the video, tell us your thoughts, complaint, criticism, so that down below. Hey, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.